they're back there with the police in the office.
Right. I suppose I shouldn't be butting in.
Well, why not? You're the grandfather. Go on back.
Listen, they're not being rough with her, are they?
No.
Because she's sensitive.
Well, the father and mother back there with her?
I figured that they were.
Eli, listen, they're not monsters. They're policemen. They're trying to do their job, that's all.
Well, I'm supposed to be at the paper, minding the phone. Elliot would be upset if he thought I wasn't there, but I can't just sit there waiting for some big paper to call. And I say, no, I'm Eli Carson. The Carson you want is my son, Elliot, and he isn't here. So I just couldn't sit there.
I'm sorry. Listen, come on, sit here with me. I don't know. I suppose I'm just preoccupied, that's all.
I'm sure that you are.
Elliot have enough time to tell you what's going on?
I'm afraid so.
I was in there all morning. I think they're going to question everyone. Allison found her.
I know.
Allison found her.
Is she going to be all right?
Who?
Why, Allison.
Allison? Well, I don't think you have to worry about her.
I'm sorry.
Eli?
Allison?
Allison, listen, I know you've been through the whole battery of questions in there. Maybe this isn't the time for it, but I'd like to have you go through everything that happened again now with me.
Oh, hold on, Mike, please. She's just told Father everything she knows, and she's tired.
Well, I mean, I know she's tired. I'm tired. We're all tired. But, I mean, I was in there all morning. I had to sit there and answer questions I didn't want to hear again. But, look, can we just talk about it, you and I now?
Dr. Rossi, I really am awfully tired.
Will you please grow up, Mike? Look, Elliot, if this thing hadn't happened, if it was all different, I mean, do you think Ann would be standing here now telling me how tired she was?
Relax, let you and I take a walk.
No, it isn't the time to take a walk. I mean, if this is the treatment you prescribe for her now, when the going gets a little bit rough, it's no wonder she never learned to face reality.
Now, listen, Mike.
Dr. Rossi, maybe I am the way you said, but that's my fault, not my father's.
I'm not interested in whose fault it is. I just want to make sure you don't go running away from this.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Look, you're the only one that's admitted seeing anything. You're the only one that can prove that Ann didn't take her own life.
All right, Mike, leave her alone.
No, I'm not going to leave her alone. Don't you see, yesterday she couldn't remember anything except finding Ann on the beach. Now, this morning, all of a sudden, she remembers and testifies to Father that she suddenly remembers seeing Lee Weber gunning his motorcycle up the beach road after Ann Howard screamed. No, I'm not going to leave her alone. She's going to have to go over this again and again and again until she remembers all of it.
Now, listen, Mike, you're a doctor. You, above all, should recognize that she's exhausted.
Yes, and Ann's dead.
Well, maybe you should face that, Mike.
Face it. Listen, if Lee Weber killed Ann Howard, I want to make sure he's punished
If
for it.
Lee Weber killed Ann, then he will be punished for it. But there's no reason to punish Allison.
Well, I'm not punishing Allison.
Stop it, both of you. Please, stop it. I don't feel like going into it anymore because I don't feel I can just now.
Allison, I'm sorry about this.
Dr. Rossi, I know Ann meant an awful lot to you, and maybe if things were different, like you said, maybe Ann could have gone on talking about it. But I'm not Ann, I'm just me. I'm not very strong, maybe, and maybe I'm not all the friend that I want to be. But I'm just awfully tired. I'm too tired. We're all tired.
All right. I'm sorry.
Allison, why does everybody have to keep picking at me? Screaming nothing left.
He didn't mean to pick at you. He just asked Ann to marry him. You're not holding out anything, are you, Allison, for Chris's sake? I know it hurts you to break Chris's confidence, but you can't Not tell anything now.
I'm not holding back anything. There's no reason to now.
Nice place here for you, Sergeant.
I thought we should be together in our hour of grief.
Stephen.
Mother. My dry-eyed, ungrieving mother.
I'm sorry it happened.
You're sorry. Your daughter is dead. And you're sorry.
I never really knew her, Stephen. She was a stranger to me.
By whose choice? You gave Anne away like a kitten out of a basket, thrust into the hands of the first willing stranger and forgotten.
Not a stranger, her father.
You divided the litter between you. Who had the first pick, you or Brian Cord?
It wasn't like that, Stephen.
Did you keep the mail because there's supposed to be less trouble? All those years. Didn't you ever wonder, didn't you ever remember the baby you discarded or think of her as your own child?
You were my child.
We were the same flesh. You gave birth to both of us.
You don't love a child because it's born to your body.
Well, most women do.
You learn to love a child out of a child's wants, out of its need for you.
A child's needs. Well, what about the summer when Ann and I were 11 after the tragedy at the Bluff? If a little girl ever needed a mother. And what did her mother do?
Her mother remained silent.
Worse than that, you scrubbed my face and straightened my necktie and sent me off blithely to testify against my own sister.
Oh, Stephen, there is so much you still don't understand.
Then make me understand, Mother. Explain away what you did that summer. Convince me that there was a reason for not letting me know I had a sister, for not telling me Brian Core was my father, even when you knew he was dying, and for doing everything you could to break up my marriage to Betty. Go ahead, tell me, Mother. It was all in my best interest.
Forgive me, please. Forgive me.
For you know not what you do. Will that be your final excuse for goading your own daughter to her death? I don't think there's ever been a time when you didn't know exactly what you were doing.
I might have known that she'd run to you.
You were afraid she'd run to me, why?
Well, when you're dealing with a girl that unstable.
You know just where to twist the knife. I had no right to leave Anne alone. Knowing what you must have put her through, I'll always blame myself for that.
You blame yourself, you blame me. Stephen, no one of us is to blame for what happened. We just have to accept it.
I'm sorry, Mother, I can't.
That girl was overwrought when she
girl,
came
your
here.
daughter, Anne.
Yes, Anne.
Well, I won't buy it. Now, maybe a week ago, before she learned that she hadn't blinded Chris Webber, but not now.
Maybe finding out that you were her brother, the shock of
No,
that.
she'd taken that well until she came here and you spoke to her. Now, what did you say to her?
Nothing. I told her nothing. I said nothing. I did nothing. Oh, Stephen, please leave me be. Stephen, no. No, Stephen, no. Please don't go. What is the point of our quarreling? It won't bring your sister back.
You say that so coldly, so logically. No sense of loss, no pain.
Stephen.
You don't because you can't. To feel loss, you have to feel love, and you're incapable of loving.
Oh, Stephen, that's not
You
true.
don't know what love is, Mother. No, you fear it. It baffles you. You think of it as a weed to be torn out by the roots. In the world of Hannah Cord, there is no love, no real ties, no husbands, no fathers, no sisters, no wives, only a dutiful son and the scheming mother bound together by ambition.
No.
Well, I have escaped from your world, Mother. I have a world of my own now, my marriage to Betty. You'll never use me again. You'll never hurt me again. Nor Betty either. She's through coming to this house. You'll be alone with Martin Peyton. You'll have what you've always wanted. I swear to you, if you had any part in causing Anne's death, may heaven help you. You'll pay for it.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
This is wrong, Hallie. You know it. Anne was murdered. I'll talk to Father and find out what's going on. As soon as I do, I'll call you at the office. Trust me, Mike. I couldn't fire Mrs. Gord. Even if I wanted to, Rodney. It's too late.
We're talking about someone that may have been responsible for your sister's death.
I'm afraid you're going to have to try and hang Lee Weber without my vote.